Operation Rising Lion, targeting nuclear facilities and high-ranking officials within the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and military. The retaliation, Iran launched a barrage of missile attacks on multiple occasions across Israel, with Tel Aviv among the hardest hit. Several buildings sustained damage and one woman was killed, while others were injured. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described the situation as one of the greatest military operations in Israel's history, stating that it is aimed at eliminating the nuclear and ballistic threat posed by the Iranian regime. In response, Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei warned of severe consequences for the Israel offensive, vowing that Iran will not make any concessions. Trump says there is a good chance there will be a deal in Israel-Iran conflict, reaffirms defense support. U.S. President Donald Trump expressed cautious optimism about resolving tensions between Israel and Iran, stating on Monday that there's a good chance there will be a deal to de-escalate the conflict. Speaking to reporters ahead of a trip to Canada on Monday, Trump said he hoped for diplomatic solution, but acknowledged that sometimes they have to fight it out. When asked about his relationship with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump said they get along very well and shared a great respect for each other. On the topic of protests in the U.S., Trump warned that without the National Guard on standby, cities like Los Angeles could face serious unrest. If we didn't have the National Guard ready, they would rip Los Angeles apart, he said. Trump declined to comment on whether he had asked Israel to pause airstrikes on Iran. He also hinted at upcoming trade deals, saying that the U.S. planned to announce several agreements soon. Regarding U.S. support for Israel, Trump reaffirmed America's commitment, saying, "We do." The remarks come amid rising tensions in the Middle East after the Israeli military launched a major operation, Rising Lion, targeting nuclear and military sites in Iran. The strikes killed several senior Iranian officials, including Chief of Staff Mohammad Bagheri and Revolutionary Guard Commander Hossein Salami. In response, Iran launched True Promise 3 striking Israeli targets, including Tel Aviv, and causing casualties and widespread damage. The escalation has triggered a regional alarm, with countries including Russia, China, Egypt, and the UAE joining the Arab League and the UN Secretary General in condemning the Israeli strike. Iran has called for an emergency UN Security Council meeting, arguing that attacks on its nuclear infrastructure violate international agreements.
So we're going to Canada. Last night was a tremendous success with a fantastic audience. It was supposed to rain. They gave it a 100% chance of rain, and it didn't rain at all. It was beautiful. And so I asked if they gave it 100% chance, right? 100% it was going to rain like crazy, and it didn't rain at all. How did they predict 100 years out and 50 years out or 200 years out? They didn't do too well, the weather people, last night, but it was beautiful.
And Prime Minister Netanyahu on the same page concerning how to deal with Iran.
Well, we get along very well, and I will tell you that I think I have great respect for each other.
Can you give us a leader or solution?
Go ahead, what?
Mr. President, can you give us a sense of what de-escalate the situation between Iran and Israel?
Well, I hope there's going to be a deal. I think it's time for a deal, and we'll see what happens. But sometimes they have to fight it out, but we're going to see what happens. I think there's a good chance there'll be a deal. What? So the protesters, if we didn't have the National Guard, they come and they check and they say, is the National Guard going to be there? And if the National Guard's being there, they don't even show up.
Have you asked Israel to pause their airstrikes into Iran?
Well, I don't want to say that.
Mr. President, do you expect to have some trade deals announced at the G7 summit coming up?
Look, we have our trade deals. All we have to do is